Hello, dear chess friends, and welcome to the show where we play interesting games. I'm trying like a new way to start the show. That sounds odd, right? I never understood. Dear chess friends, what does that mean? Are you friends of mine that play chess, or are you friends of chess? Like the chess friends concept. I always found very confusing. Anyway, I'm glad to be here on this World Cup free day. I've been doing a lot of World Cup commentary in the good old language of German. Therefore, watch your TH, Jan. Don't overdo your self-parody. I have not been able to hang out with you non-Germans recently, so on this free World Cup day, the day before the final, high time to get in another Banter Blitz. You know the rules, I'm guessing. If not, you can challenge me to a chess game, a game of 5-minute blitz chess. I think we call it Banter Blitz chess. By finding my username, which is Jan, very similar to my first name, Jan, and then, I don't know, like, look on it below this video you're watching, hover over my name, challenge me if you're a premium member, and we might play a lovely game of chess while I try to fix my hair. This is pretty much the concept of the show. As for upcoming shows, I'm still not sure what I'm gonna be doing. I think they call this housekeeping, so we'll address that. Still not sure what I'm gonna be doing about the World Cup, but there's a good chance, let's call it a good chance, that I will be switching languages from German to the common tongue for the final and be joined by a certain super grandmaster. I think you guys probably know who. And for the last cup round, it's not 100% certain, because why would it be 100% certain? There's still more than 16 hours until the finals. But yeah, probably we'll be doing stuff in English for the World Cup finals, and maybe a bit of Isle of Man thrown in there as well. So check that out, or don't, or like do whatever you like. Yeah, you can see I'm on fire. Let's play a game of chess. This is what keeps the show moving along. How about Mr. Christiansen Sava? Oops, that's not the screenshot. This is the chat though, but I would prefer to get the screen capture from this one. So can I do this? Yep, I can do this, but now I had to close the chat, which pains me. Design Jan is once again in fine form. E4 played against Christiansen Sava. Is that your name? Christiansen Sava? Also let me know, let me know if the sound is okay, the picture is okay, the bandwidth, stream buffering, like all the good stuff. What do I know? Are you there, Mr. Christiansen? If you're not there, then we cannot play a lovely game of chess. But here we are, e4 c6, the good old Caro-Kann. And I shall play the so-called advanced variation. And after bishop f5, I would go... Kasparov recently played knight c3 against Navarra, which I thought had a dodgy reputation these days. But if Gary does it, how bad can be? But he goes c5, against which there's many possible lines. c4 is a move, knight f3 is a move, dc5 is a move. I'll go knight f3 and see what happens. There were some very sharp lines here, like knight c6, c4, cd. I don't know. The line continues, but I'm sure we'll find out in no time. c5 never really reached the mainline status that bishop f5 has, but it's always been a playable move, like German grandmaster Henkin likes experimenting with this. And bishop g4, I once studied this and I thought it wasn't good, but obviously I do have zero recollection why that could be the case. cd5 looks normal. Let's find out. If knight takes d4, I should be able to go knight takes d4, bishop takes d1, bishop b5 check, which is sort of a common tactic in such positions. After queen d5, I'm gonna have to think, but my plan was to go knight takes c3, then bishop f3, knight d5, bishop d1, and I don't know if I can get away with knight c7, knight takes a8, or if I have to go king d1, which could be awkward after long castles. So we'll think about it when we get there. Should we ever get there? It could also be that after knight c3, so queen d5, knight c3, bishop f3, it's better to play something like gf. I don't know. Let's find out. So what was I saying? Bishop f3, gf, queen d4. I don't know. Takes knight b5 business. Knight d5 sometimes a move. So complicated. Chess is such a tough game. So knight takes d5. Bishop takes d1. What is going on there? King d1, long castle is no good, as we've established. And that leaves us with other options. gf, I was thinking about. Queen takes d4. And then, it's such a weird position. See my thinking phase? Probably I shouldn't think too hard and just go for it. Just wing it. Now what can we do? Queen d4, cd, doesn't look very good. Knight b5, nah. Bishop e3 could be playable. Let's find out. If queen d1, rook d1, I should have some sort of compensation for the pawn at least, with all the developed pieces and all that good stuff. Queen e5, I'm not sure if I will have that type of compensation, but I'll hope to somehow manufacture it. Going f4 and developing my pieces quickly. Looks like there should be at least some play. And I'm being told in the chat that knight f3 was not good, that nothing could be further from the truth. Knight f3 is probably the most critical move in this position. I'm not sure about my play after bishop g4, but knight f3 is certainly a good move. So queen d1, rook d1, e6, that looks like a normal enough reaction. Challenging me to prove that I have compensatsi for the pawn. But I think I actually do have compensation. Just gotta figure out how to do this. Bishop b5, knight b5, rook c8, I still don't really see how to proceed. So, nah, I'll play f4. Keep my options open. Knight h6 looks like the most logical move. Heading towards f5. Wow, big champion of chess, Christiansen Sava. Who knew? What do I do now? Bishop b5, knight e4. I'll go here, but I won't be very happy about it. Just so you know, I'm not that happy about it. Ambitious Pawn says the time monologue is always a classic. Do you have a time monologue? The hair monologue I think we've had. What's the tie monologue? That I decided not to wear a tie? I don't even know how often I repeat myself. I am a bit like the main character from the movie Memento when it comes to Banter Blitz. I do forget for every show what I've mentioned in the hundreds, literally 100 shows I've done in the past. So don't hold me accountable for constantly repeating myself, because I can't remember. Christiansen Sava is saying, nice game. Wow, has time to chat. I don't like that. I don't like that confidence. Gets me very upset. I want him to be focused and sweating, not hanging out in the chat, sending me smiley faces. This is not the fear I was trying to strike in your heart. I want that pawn, but I have a feeling development might be more important. And I also have a feeling that pawn might not run away. Suki Ray's asking, can you beat Peter in Blitz? Your rating is significantly higher, but you flag more than he does. Peter's a better Blitz player than me, no question about it. In a tournament setting, I might be slightly more motivated to win my Banter Blitz games by flagging or doing other unsportsmanlike conduct. Therefore, my rating is higher. But no, there's zero question that Peter Svidler is a better chess player and better Blitz player. Ambitious Pawn says, it feels like thousands of banter sessions. I agree, Ambitious Pawn. What are we still doing here? Shouldn't we evolve? Find something else to do, something else to talk about, something else to watch? I don't know, man. How do we keep this fresh? How do we keep the banter train rolling? Maybe by grabbing the b7 pawn. I think normally pawn grabbing, whenever things get a little too dark, one can grab a pawn and life is not that bleak anymore. Bishop or rook? Maybe bishop. By the way, this is a knight, not a rook, technically. Lefty John says, you're always fresh, Jan. Thank you so much, Lefty John. I'm always self-deprecating too. See, I can't even pronounce that word. That's how self-deprecating I am. I correct my own pronunciation. But I don't really mean it. I am very full of myself. Alright, how do I win this game? Probably on time, as usual. Can you say you win the game on time? Or does that mean I would win the game in a timely manner? Well, what I'm trying to say is I want to win this game by flagging my opponent. Nah, I think on time is it. I'll go here. I didn't want castle knight e2 check. Dropping that pawn, so this felt like a good random move to play. What else is going on? Yesterday was a fun day with the World Cup tie breaks, epic battle between Maxi Boy and Dr. Levon, as they are known professionally. So yeah, that was fun to watch, fun to do commentary on, even though I did it in the German language. I enjoyed that one a lot. And yeah, now the finals are slightly anti-climactic. Because the guys that made it through the semifinals already have their spot in the candidates. So most of the hard work is done. Then again, if we get the Svitster to join me and do it in English, I'm sure it's going to be fun to talk to Peter about his experience in the World Cup. He had this epic final 2 years ago. Well, I'm going to win on time, right? 4.7 seconds. Haha. Knight h4. You spent all this time to find a good move, but I'm just going to flag you. And then what has this good move ever done for you? Should just make sure not to get checkmated before the flagging is done. Nah, still hanging around. Boom. Oh, here we go. Good game, Christiansen, Sava. Mika LJ is teaching me English. He's saying, I'll win the game in the fullness of time. That sounds like timely. Why am I down to 23 seconds? Was this like a bullet game? It doesn't feel like I spent that much time. Is this side lagging? Did I spend all this time? Something's wrong, isn't it? I'm confused. Feels like something's wrong. But we'll find out in no time. By playing another lovely game of chess, maybe? What about this guy? How about that guy? Nur spielen. 2389. 2389. That's a pretty strong player, even though he says all he wants to do is play. Because nur spielen in German means I just wanna play. It's a famous song by, I don't know, Annette Louison. Ich will doch nur spielen. I'm a horrible singer. Ich tu doch nichts. What do I do here? Bishop here. I think I've played that recently. b5, bishop c5 is a more established way to do this. And bishop e7, the marshal, is of course my main move, which we've seen plenty in the Levon Aronian MVL match. But why not put the bishop here? Strike some fear in Nur Spielen's heart. So what were we talking about? I don't know. What have I been doing? I've been commentating World Cup. I've been sick, which has been annoying. I've been I've been listening a lot to the Blank Check with Griffin and David podcast, so I'm now very familiar with the filmography of Christopher Nolan, which I'm sure you guys are happy to hear, even though I still have not watched Interstellar. And 95, what am I supposed to do again? Take? I'm confused. Why am I confused? I'll take and then continue being confused. How does this go here? Is this theory? Feels theory. Theory-y. Like this idea is typical, knight takes e5 and then d4 to win the piece back. But under these exact circumstances, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. But b5 looks logical and then bishop b3. Take on d4 and go d6. I feel like that is a proper way to handle business here. And Fuchsia is saying Interstellar is a great movie. I still haven't seen Interstellar. I probably have to watch it. Feels like people are very torn on that one, aren't they? Like some people say it's the best movie they've ever seen and like such a tearjerker. Some people say it's kind of rubbish. So I'm gonna have to make up my own mind. Ugh, it's gonna be tough. Just as making up my own mind here. Knight takes e4, queen d5. Does that bother me? Hang on. Maybe tricks. Maybe tricks. I'm not sure if this works, but I spotted a trick, so I can't resist. Queen d5, bishop b7 takes and c6. Maybe rook a7 to trap the queen. I hope this works, because if not, nur spielen might just crush me out of the opening, which would be very sad. But it might work, and then, yeah, too tempting to pass up. I'm not sure about knight takes e4. ba4 was certainly a legal move, but didn't feel like doing it. So he goes bishop b3. I would like to play queen h4, but it would require probably some thought. Ugh. Can I do it? Should I take here? It's so complicated. Chess so tough. I'll go here. How bad can it be? And chess is a very complicated game. Queen f3. I miss queen f3. Should that be cause for concern? Probably should be, actually. Because he's threatening f7 and bishop d5. So it could be slightly unpleasant. Ooh! Scared now. Scared, can't talk. Maybe queen h4 was a little overzealous, to use one of my 3 favorite words. And I should have played bishop b7 first. He goes queen e2, which is more normal, but now at least f7 is not hanging. So what do I do? Bishop b7? Guess. Bishop e3. He doesn't want me to checkmate him, which slightly upsets me. I'm not gonna lie. I'd much rather you allowing me to checkmate you, Mr. Nurspiel. We're all friends here. We can be honest about our feelings. But since he does not want that to happen, I guess I'm gonna have to develop some pieces. Such a snooze fest. Why is my clock running again? I thought it's my move again. That explains a lot. I don't know what to do. Probably speed up a little. I should also try not to blunder that knight. Did I just blunder it? No, I didn't. After g3, who knows? What's going on here? Equal endgame, sort of. Bishop e4. Can I go bishop e4? I'd prefer to keep pieces on the board in order to trick him. But then g3 might win material, looks like. I'm not going to be able to do it. So instead we have to take here and play this. Dalzoville endgame. c5 might be a mistake. Who knows? Go away. I'm gonna have to free my pieces a little bit. Let my pieces go. Bishop d3 first. Maybe bishop d3 first. Just to, ask some questions. D7, Zwischenzug. All right. I'm gonna have to take that pawn eventually, but I want to keep him a little busy with one of my rooks on the e-file, like potentially threatening stuff. Not sure if I'm really better here, but at least, you know, there is grounds for keeping the game going. Ugh, I'm so slow though. I don't know what to do. Is this a horrible move? Might be a horrible move. Probably that was bad, yeah. No draw! Of course not, nur spielen. Don't you know that you're in Phlegistan? I'm not better though, which is a great pity and fills my heart with great regret. Boy. This was a bit of a ridiculous sequence. I'm just trying to somehow manufacture imbalances and winning chances so I can maybe get to that guy or something, but I'm not sure if this is at all prudent. Der blunder. That's a bummer. Now I'm lost. Oh boy, I'm gonna lose. I don't like to lose. Nope, but I will. That's too bad. Anything I can do? Nah. No real counter chances as far as I can tell. That's a great pity. Trying too hard. All right, seen enough. Good game. Ooh, yeah. Good game, nur spielen. Yeah, those were some pathetic winning attempts. What did I do? Somewhere around here, I'm still... Nah, it's equal. And yeah, f5 was already a bit of a dodgy move. And then the main thing is that I blundered. Or, yeah, pretty much blundered. Rook a6. I thought, here we go, bishop a6, rook b2. And who knows what happens? By rook a6, I can just resign. So that's a pity. Good game. Nur spielen. Who shall we play next to get rid of all this bottled up anger that we have now? By we, I mean myself. Let's find someone fresh and clean. What about Blue Schooler? Blue Scholar? Blue Schooler? What does Blue Schooler mean? Is Blue School a thing? I'll look it up. Does not ring a bell. Blue School. Would a Blue School even have a school bell? Blue Schooler. Blue Scholars is an American hip-hop duo based in Seattle, Washington. Who knew? Probably Blue Schooler knew. Never heard of the Blue Scholars. And he takes on d5, which in this position, of course you can do this, but it's a bit of a toothless version of this, what do you call it? I don't know what it's called, the Caro-Kann exchange variation, the Fischer variation. In general, if you want to do it, it's, I think, slightly, I probably can't move here. Yeah, slightly more challenging to go d4, d5, takes, and then bishop to d3, not having committed the knight to f3 yet. But of course, it's very much playable, nothing wrong with it. Blue Scholars is an American hip-hop duo based in Seattle, Washington, created in 2002, while the members DJ Zapsy, Saba Mohajer Japsi, sorry for bungling that name, and MC Geologic, George Quibuyen, were students at the University of Washington. Alright, so now that we've learned that, we still don't know if Blue Schooler has any association or even any knowledge of the Blue Scholar hip-hop duo, or if it means something completely different. Bishop d3. I want to go e6, so I'll get the queen out of the way. I'm sure knight takes g5 was possible, but it looks like it's leading to too many simplifications. So, not going to be able to do it. He goes c3, and now I can get some pieces out without hanging my queen, which normally is a better way to get your pieces out. Because if you do hang your queen, you don't have your queen anymore. That's more or less the level of chess knowledge that you can expect from this program. I'm hoping for knight bd2, which runs into the typical tactic. Either knight takes c3, or knight takes f2, or knight takes g5 in this case, dropping the bishop on d3. But Blue Schooler played a better move, went bishop h4. And after bishop d6, I'm guessing he wants to go bishop g3, simplify the position further, and I'm not sure there's much I can do to avoid that. Feeling I won't be able to do it. He goes h3. That feels wrong, because now with the bishop on h4, won't be able to return to g3 without dropping a pawn. So bishop g3 feels like it was the more prudent course here, and I'll try to accentuate the position of this bishop by going h6, g5. Yeah, now Blue Schooler's position all of a sudden became slightly unpleasant, because knight bd2 still runs into knight takes c3 or knight f2, so you can't do that. And g5 is, yeah, at least a nuisance. So in general, don't combine these bishop h4 ideas with h3. You want to be able to put your bishop here and then recapture with the h-pawn. Well, now, yeah, he's in a bit of trouble. Goes bishop c2, preparing knight bd2, which is a very sensible train of thought. But I'll still grab that pawn. I want that pawn. Can I take another pawn? Not really forced to. I could also just withdraw my queen, threatening knight g3, which looks pretty good. But I can't see what is wrong with taking more pawns. And if in doubt, grab more pawns. Knight bd2. Try to keep the horsey in his place. I was mildly concerned, but not very, after about knight e4, fe, bishop e4, de, queen e4 or something along those lines. But then I spotted queen g2 checkmate. Might be a fairly decent reply to that. c4, where should my king go? King side or queen side? Maybe just king side, no? Why not? b3. A lot of counterplay by Blue Schooler here. Good move, actually, bishop b3. So I'm guessing I have to defend that pawn, even though I don't like to go passive, but it would be too much to allow bishop d5. I still have the hidden advantage at knight e4, fe, queen e4, which you would otherwise do, runs into queen g2 checkmate. So that's... Oh boy, that's what my hopes are based on, that he allows me to checkmate him in one move. Not gonna be able to do it. He goes knight e5. Can we take? I guess we can take, no? Gimme. Knight e4, just fe. Yeah, I don't really see a follow-up, because, once again, g2, be weak. Therefore, Yeah, Blue Schooler resigns. Thanks for the game, Mr. Blue Schooler. I'm more of a blue-collar guy myself. Don't really feel like at home in these white-collar societies. But that might change with the next show. What else can I tell you about? Or tell me about something. Why is the onus to talk stuff always on me? Just because we call it Banter Blitz? What about the new concept? We just call it Blitz. We get rid of all my annoying whining and rambling about pop culture, and we just play some lovely Blitz games. That sounds like giant innovation to the whole Banter Blitz industry. If you ask me. Let's play Klazarovici. Is that the name? Klazarovici? Here we go, Mr. Klazarov. Klazarovici from Romania. Goes d4. Pretty good move, d4. And you know what? I'm gonna triangle it up. Like Sopiko Guramishvili recommends in her video series. Go e6 and c6. cd5 is of course the most solid choice. But after ed5, this is supposed to be a better version. With the pawn on c6, then with the knight on f6. My apologies. Because there's no bishop g5, and after bishop f4, at least the books say that with bishop to d6, you should equalize fairly comfortably. Bishop g3, I'm wondering what I'm supposed to do here. But knight e7 followed by knight to f5 looks fairly logical to me. Yeah, I'll go that way. If he takes on d6 now, I'd take with the knight. Normally d6 is like the dream square for a horsey in these structures. And after bishop d3, yeah, I think I have time to exchange my weakish bishop as well. Do that, and I've already transferred the knight to its rightful square on d6. So bottom line, black is fine here. Not sure if we can start thinking about an advantage anytime soon, but black should certainly be fine. It's always a question if you want to take precautions against b4, but with the knight already on d6, controlling that square and this square, it's not really necessary. So he goes b3, which feels a bit passive. I want to rule out options of either knight to e5 or pawn to e4 if I can, and I'll try to play slightly aggressively by putting this rook on e8. The more arguably harmonious or more circumspect way to play was to put the other rook on e8, but I'm hoping I can one day use this rook on the king side and start an attack here, which is why I went f5. f5 of course a little double-edged because it weakens this square, but as long as he can't maneuver both of his knights towards it, that won't be such a big factor. And it takes white some moves, knight a4, knight b2, queen c2, knight d3 to get there, so not that easy. Knight d2, alright, queen g5, I guess he wants to go f4. Do I immediately go f4 or not? Then ef. Maybe queen h4. We'll see, I'm not sure what knight d2 is about, so I'll just make a random half-threatening move, hinting at f4, hinting at rook f6, rook h6, and see how he wants to set his pieces up. He goes h3. Maybe this is the time for the other knight to shine. Now knight f6, he goes knight f3 back, and then knight e5. That doesn't feel right. I feel like my position is good enough to justify going for an attack with g5, maybe g4. Mainly because white hasn't done a lot of active operations. Now he goes knight f3, h5 or h6? Probably h5. And g4 is looming. Well, knight e5, he should probably play knight e5 and then takes, rook e5. Queen d4, try to get some activity going. Plays knight h2, but that feels very passive to me. g4 immediately, or maybe improve the position further a little first. I don't know what he wants. Rook e6 is a bit clumsy. I'm not sure. Maybe I should have gone rook f6. Because LPDO, loose pieces drop off. And the rook on e6 is currently not defended. I played it to prepare g4 when after takes. Rook h6 is coming. But yeah, he goes f3 now, defending against that. So that was arguably a little slow. He wants queen e1. Should I stop that? Not sure if there was anything I could do about queen e1. I guess if he does do it, then I'll just keep the queens on the board with queen h6 and regroup. But yeah, I slightly regret not having played g4 earlier. Because now the white setup is a lot more resilient all of a sudden with these pawns on h3 and f. Passive, but more resilient. Knight of 1. That tempts me to go for opening the position, and I shall do so. Now queen e1. All right. Exchanging queens, I will already get a good position, but I want more. Do you want more? Cooking raw. Yeah, it's a bit of a pity that after rook g4 the knight is hanging. So I'm gonna have to go for the endgame, which is nice for me, but probably not the max I could have extracted. It is a bit of a pity. How's the clock situation? Could be better, could be worse. Can't hurt to speed up a little bit. e3 is hanging, so he has to go back, which he does. And I should try to continue improving my position. Bring this knight to e4 or g4. Take it from there. h5, h4 also looks like a useful thing to do. Don't know what to do. So I'll make a move. Sometimes you just gotta make a move. I can't allow the knight to get to e5, so knight g4 sends the knight to left. Looks like a very logical thing to do. Knight h4, rook e6, targeting e3. And once again the d6 knight does good work covering this f5 square. Spicing things up. Tough fighter, Klazarovici. A couple times I felt like, okay, I got this game locked up, but he always comes back. Can you say I got the game locked up? Doesn't sound all that English, does it? I should try not to blunder too many pieces. King g5, knight f3, for example, was one way to not do this. But I brilliantly, if I may say so, managed to not blunder a lot. How do we do this? Knight on h1 does not look like the happiest camper ever to roam on a chessboard. Doesn't have a bright future, I would say. And yeah, I won on time, but now the white position is fairly grim as well. That was a tough fight. I got it strategically sort of, yeah, I know it doesn't look very exciting, but this is more or less the dream position out of these lines. You have the knight on d6, you exchange your bad bishop, and it's much more realistic for black to generate an attack on the king side than it is for white to start this minority attack, because after b4, with the knight willing to jump to c4, you can always go b5 and put the knight on c4 and you're fine. So this is a great outcome of the opening for black. After that, the execution, yeah, left a bit to be desired, as usual. But interesting game against Klazarovici. Shall we play another lovely game of chess? What about Motorhead Hunter? I was never much of a Motorhead guy. He goes e4. Let's play the modern. Knight f3. Here, c3. What's that about? Normally I was just gonna play d6, a6 against anything. c3, since now the knight can no longer go here, sort of motivates me to go d5. After ed, queen d5, d4, if I were to play c5, which I might, we might transpose to some sideline of the c3 Sicilian, believe it or not, that Vishy Anand used in his, was it the first round of the World Cup? Feels like 5 years ago by now, but it was like 3 weeks ago. But yeah, this game is gonna go differently, because he goes g3, which, yeah, surprised me. It doesn't lose a pawn, since after d he has queen a4 check, but it's still not the way to handle the opening, in my humble opinion, because you lose a lot of time. I could go bishop d7, bishop c6, or knight c6, knight f6, just developing with tempo, which is normally a good thing, developing while your opponent is moving his queen around. What are we discussing? Who's gonna win the World Cup? I don't know. I believe Levon Aronian has had such a weight lifted off his shoulders by qualifying for these candidates that to me he is now the favorite. I'm not sure I would have considered him the favorite in a semi-final against Ding, because there, yeah, nerves and the stakes, and it feels like the pressure is bigger for, or was bigger for Levon than would have been for Ding. But now in the finals, where I believe the pressure has been lifted, I would consider Levon the favorite, because I believe that his ceiling is slightly higher than Ding Liren's. I had similar theory when Levon played against MVL, that Levon in his best form might be slightly stronger, but that MVL's floor was slightly higher, if that makes sense. That, yeah, he has fewer swings, and I feel like the match here showed that to some extent. So I would guess Levon is a tiny favorite. But of course, these guys have been playing chess for how many days now? 16 days? I don't know how many, but roughly 16 days in a row. Of course, 1 or 2 rest days, but still. A lot of energy has been lost. Levon is the older player, so there might be a question of who has more left in the tank. But I would say Levon is a tiny favorite. Just as I am a tiny favorite here after knight takes e5. I'm using the fact that he's been moving his queen around a bit, so queen takes e5 would have run into rook to e8. He avoids that, but rook e8 is still very, very unpleasant because of the pin I'm threatening to win material with knight takes f3. And yeah, it's not a fun situation for white to find himself in. Bishop e3 is the only move that doesn't lose material on the spot. But even then, I hope I can come up with something nasty. Even though I haven't seen it yet, to be perfectly honest with you. Maybe instead of rook e8, I should have gone for the kill more directly. But still feels like I'm doing good. How though? Bishop e3, of course I can go for knight d5, extract some concessions. But doesn't feel like extracting the max. Bishop e3, queen d5, but then knight bd2 or knight takes e5. Keeps the material. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Motorhead Hunter resigns. That's too early. Look, he probably didn't see a defense against his knight takes f3 threat. But after bishop e3, there is no direct way to win material, at least not one that I could see. So yeah, he should have played that and the game continues. Sorry, Motorhead Hunter. I'm reading the chat. Mr. Dodgy is saying 40k is always nice. That I think, yeah, is a well-known saying in most places. I believe that is the difference between first and second place, is that right? So there are stakes, but for the players, I believe, yeah, that qualifying for the candidates means more than the 40k, both in implied odds and in getting closer to their dream of becoming world champion. But of course, there are plenty of reasons to play for. I think Levon himself, how did he put it? He said, yeah, that the money was a very nice bonus to, yeah, to fight for. Well, I'm not sure how he worded it, but he mainly sounded relieved. We're playing another strong player, into move, interstellar, into moves. He goes e4 as well. I'll continue my Caro-Kann adventures. Knight e2. What is that? Is that some Lawrence Trent School of Chess? d5, e5? I don't know how this continues, but I'm sure we'll find out. Bishop f5, knight g3. What is the lines? I know nothing. I'll just play a6 and take it from there. Knight g3. That's the point? All right. a6 is sort of my go-to random move when I don't know what to do in the Caro-Kann. I used to play a lot of e4, c6, knight c3, d5, knight f3, a6 too. And it looks like he's trying to convert this into some sort of wing gambit, or as I like to call it, he's trying to wing it. Which, yeah, I guess is legal. Doesn't strike a lot of fear in my heart, but maybe it should. Let's try to spice our things up a little bit. h5 looks like a random move, but whenever there's a knight on g3, it's like this fatal attraction that you want to go h5. After knight h5, I was planning to go knight takes d4. I'm not sure how that's going to end, like bishop g7. Knight g7, for example, bishop g7, queen takes d4 with a weird position. But looks like fun. All right. I didn't do the pawn count. How are we doing on the pawn side? And I pawn down, pawn up. It's so confusing. I'll just try to take as many pawns as he takes of mine. Because otherwise, you know how I feel about being a pawn down. Not a fan. Weird position. Okay, let's do a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at the moment, we have the same number of pawns. I'm planning to take this or this pawn. He's probably planning to take this or this pawn. Therefore, yeah, the pawn world is still more or less balanced. He goes bishop f4, not willing to part with that pawn. And who can blame him? Am I willing? I think I'm willing to part with one of my pawnsies. Just, you know, to develop quickly. Even though it hurts my feelings. But this might be one of the 2 situations I've ever found myself in during my chess career where I felt it was more important to get pieces out than to grab pawns. The other one is in the year 1996. My opponent played e4, c5, d4. I took, he played c3. And I thought, not today, we're not going to accept the gambit. I will play knight f6 and develop some pieces. And I've regretted that moment ever since. Because I could have taken the pawn. Therefore, yeah. If you fight, you will make mistakes. If you don't fight, you've already lost. Is that true? Someone should have told me that like 1,000 years ago. Would have spared me all the self-loathing after these quick draws. Anyway, am I winning material? That might stop the self-loathing for like a second as well. Because what is he going to do? b5, but that's more of a way trying to weasel out of this predicament he finds himself in. Gimme. Give me the rook. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but I have been working on a book that is going to cover positions where one side is a rook up, and it will talk about the dangers, but also the chances, the possibilities. Because did you know that in Chinese, the words for problem and opportunity are the same? I'm not sure if that's true, but I read somewhere. Anyway, it will cover the problems and the opportunities of being a rook up. Maybe, but that's just maybe, we will also use it as the constitution of Yanistan, that rook up book. But I'm always thrilled to get more material for that work. And yeah, Intermove resides here because a rook is a rook. Basically, I think I was doing well here because the speedy development left him in some trouble. And after queen c5, bishop e5, all of a sudden, it's already too late because I'm threatening to take here. And this rook is in big danger too. So there was no way out. Anyway, thanks for the game, Mr. Intermove. Mr. Dodgy is saying, Blitz is one of the very few human activities where the more you do it, the worse you will get. There's some truth to that, yeah. I feel like, yeah, playing lots of Blitz games probably won't improve your Blitz chess all that much. Then again, you can also blame it on age. Like if you start playing a lot of Blitz when you're 19, well, let's say when you're 13, you might improve till you're 19. Then, with your brain slowing down, your Blitz might also become worse. But aren't there other activities where the more you do it, the worse you get at it? Most of those that I think of, I can't talk about on stream. But there must be examples of that. Help me out here while I look for the next opponent. What about Mr. Yuzan? Are you there, Mr. Yuzan? c4, knight f6. Let's bring the knight out, and after g6 I will take the great chance to play e4, stopping the Grunfeld, which has cost Levon Aronian a lot of, I'm not sure if it cost him a lot of grief, he won the match, but quite some trouble in his match against MVL. In general, the Grunfeld seems to have been holding up fairly well in recent times. Not a lot of white players have been going there and showed a lot of ideas. But in this game we're playing the King's Indian against Yuzan. And this system, I call it the Sokolov system, I'm not sure if it has a name, but I've seen Ivan Sokolov play it a lot with bishop e2, bishop e3, before knight f3. Has been growing in popularity recently. And the idea is to play a very quick g4, grab some space on the king side before you move on to other things. I have never really studied it. That goes for most openings these days, sadly. But the concept I do find attractive. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here already. But once again, the concept does look attractive to me. To just push these pawns, grab some space. You know. F5 is of course possible, but it's more double-edged now, because I'm creating a bit of an attack on the king side, hopefully. Once again, I'm not sure if I'm botching this. I don't have a good feel for King's Indian positions. You might say, yeah, you don't have a good feel for many positions, but with white out of all these openings, the King's Indian is the one that has caused me the most trouble over the years, because my understanding of the dynamics, like what you do against f5, when it's bad, when it's dangerous, all these things has never been that keenly developed. Here, I don't know what to do, for example, but how bad can it be to develop a piece? Of course, h5 was also possible, but it feels like getting the knight out can't be that bad. Knight g7, I didn't see coming, for example. Interesting move. Knight g7 might be a good move. I'm wondering if it's worth too tempy to go knight g5, h6, and knight f3 back. Feels dumb, but I'll do it anyway, because I can't think of anything better. I just want to provoke some weaknesses in the black kingside formation, and if he doesn't go h6, the knight is well placed on g5. Stopping knight h5 as well. What's up with the chat? Always blame the mouse is asking, have you seen It yet? Great movie. I haven't seen it yet. I'm not a big horror guy, but I heard it's a good movie, so I will probably go see it, or I'm not sure if I'll go to the movies for it. But I'll watch it eventually. I've heard good things. I felt, I've hardly seen any horror movies, really. I felt like I should probably watch It Follows, so I can follow it. Is that accurate? That feels like it's the two cool horror movies of recent times, right? It Follows, followed by It. But no, I'm not up to date. I haven't seen The Conjuring, I haven't seen It, I haven't seen The Visit. I haven't seen any of the horror stuff, really. Because I don't like to be scared. Are we going to the movies to be entertained or to learn something? Like, is being scared really the purpose of it? Maybe it is. Maybe it's an experience that people like, you know, sitting together in this dark cinema and being scared of, what's it called, Pennywise? Is that his name? I think that's his name. Or whatever villain that particular horror movie has. Anyway, the villain this particular game has is Mr. Yuzan, who, to my great disappointment, is playing quite well so far. And I'm guessing I'm once again giving a masterclass in how not to handle the King's Gambit. King's Gambit, King's Indian, same difference. But it felt logical to transfer the bishop here, and he's saying, you do your cute little maneuvers, I'll checkmate you in the meantime, if you don't mind. I do mind. Once a pawn grabber, always a pawn grabber. Slightly odd position. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like I should be doing fine. And the King's Indian, man, it's always so confusing. Bishop d7, can you do that? Takes here, takes on h3. Takes on d6. I can take a lot of stuff. I get excited when I can grab stuff. Grab him by the pawn. 26. Mehmet94 is saying, Jan pretending to not know stuff to look charismatic is my favorite. Please elaborate. How does lack of knowledge make you look more charismatic? Or are you pretending not to be fluent in English to look charismatic? Could that be the case and you are maybe looking for a different word than charismatic? Anyway, what was I pretending to not know? The theory of this variation? I think I've been fairly honest about my level of knowledge here. I noticed Sokolov plays it with good results, and it strikes me as a good concept. But I've never studied move by move. Yuzan resigns here because his position came down crashing. I think he went a little overboard with this c6 b5. Well, it's a good idea in general to open the position on the queen side. It has to work, and here my pieces were better equipped for battle. James Maskell is telling us, I'm interested in Gerald's game, coming out on Netflix soon. What's that? Is Gerald a chess grandmaster who's publishing a game on Netflix? That'd be an amazing leap for chess if Netflix had decided, you know what, we're kind of done with stand-up comedy. It's always the same thing, right? Like a dude making witty social commentary or witty observations for an hour. Why not start publishing chess games? And we'll start with this guy, Gerald, because he played a nice game. And we'll give him a special. We'll call it Gerald and his pawns. So I believe that's what James Maskell is talking about, but of course I could be wrong. Let's play another game of chess. Let's play against our dear friend, Mr. Dodgy. Mr. Dodgy himself. Ooh, all these strong opponents today. I need to play some putzes. Some offense to all the putzers. I'll play one of you next. Mr. Dodgy blitzes out bishop b4. What am I supposed to do here? No, I'll pretend not to know anything. Even though I know stuff. I know that Giri went e3 here, and I thought he got a good position against somebody. Don't ask me whom, because I do not know that. But d4 has to be the point. Knight d5 dc. ED, I have a feeling should favor me after knight d5 dc once the position opens up, because I will have the bishops, and the bishops will probably appreciate having this diagonal and all that stuff. Knight e7. All right, I guess we should get some pieces out and then think about what to do next. Not sure if I should be concerned about knight to a6. Don't feel that concerned about it, but maybe concerned enough to throw in a little b4 before the going gets tough. Knight f5, right. Bishop d3 would be nice, but then rook a8 check bothers me. So I'll just, be humble. Is queen f6 a problem? Who knows, but I can start with bishop b2 if that really concerns me. Thing is that if I manage to finish development here, I'll be at least slightly better. I'm not sure how much better, but I do believe in the bishops. I believe in America. And bishops will always have a place in the American chessboard. That doesn't make any sense, I'm sorry. I mean, in the chessboard. On the chessboard would have been perfectly logical. But in the chessboard, come on. Dodgy Boy is trying to mix it here before I get to be fully developed. And I have to be a little cautious about stuff. But it still feels like I should be doing fine. How do I proceed though? G4, not H4, nah. I need to set up some mechanism. I don't know. Strange position. We'll find out. Here's my mechanism. Mike and the Mechanisms, one of my favorite bands of all time. No, I was thinking about stuff like takes, rook a1, bishop a1, whatever. Let's say b6, takes, short castles. And then if queen takes e2, rook to e1. That's a key tactic. And it only works if I get my queen off the Back rank first. I couldn't castle here because then queen e2, rook e1. He just takes on d1. And yeah. Black is fine, but now I believe I'm threatening to castle. Which, if I manage to castle, my position will immediately be very good. If I don't manage, my position could immediately be very bad too. So yeah, stakes is high. He goes knight a6. Now I can't castle, I guess, right? Queen e2, rook e1. I better not blunder something and resign there instantly. But what's life without a little risk? I don't know, probably less risky. Anyway, queen e2, rook e1 is the tactic I'm going for. Queen d2, rook e8. And yeah, if knight b4, queen b4, queen e2, I still have rook e1 as far as I can tell. So I should be doing fine now, no? Queen b4, queen e2, rook e1, what's the point? We'll find out. Yeah, I don't think that worked because rook e1 is still just as effective as it was with my queen on e2, on d2. Maybe Mr. Dodgy thought the queen no longer covers e1, but it actually does, and therefore Mr. Dodgy has to resign. Interesting game. Yeah, I'm not sure if this worked. Maybe there was a way to cause me grief here, but it's a tactic to keep in mind that once you remove your queen from the back rank, you often have this option to castle and then meet queen takes e2 with rook to e1. Not sure if he can play some goofy move like king f8 here, maybe to stop me from doing that. But it looks a little artificial. Who knows? Interesting game. And I did warn you, lower rated players, even if I used less flattering term earlier. I'm out to get you, Gary Cairns. How do you pronounce that, Cairns? He goes d4. And bishop f4, the good old London system. After c5, there's a choice between e3, d5 and dc5, all of it which have been seen at a high level. Knight f3 I'm less fond of, because after cd4, oh yeah, this is the one tactic that you should not blunder in these positions. I think I've already done this in the past. It's a bit unfair against a 1200 player, because it's not an obvious tactic, but after e5, believe it or not, white is already losing a piece, because after bishop e5, queen a5 check does pick up this bishop, so sorry, Gary. Yeah, this will be a bit of an uphill battle now, because piece is a piece. So, do you guys know any good podcasts? I'm currently trying to, sort down my podcast listening. There's no NBA, so most of my basketball podcasts are out of the equation. There's not a lot of Low Post, or what am I listening to? True Hoop, it's called. The basketball analogy now. The Full 48, the Howard Beck podcast. So the basketball stuff is sort of on hold. Therefore, I've been focusing on other nonsense. Like I said, I've been listening to a lot of Blank Check with Griffin and David. It's a movie podcast where they analyze a series of movies by certain directors. And I enjoyed that. Then, comedy-wise, I'm listening to Comedy Bang Bang whenever one comes out. I've tried Hollywood Handbook, which sounds funny, but I'm not really in that world yet. What else is there? Let me know. I need more podcasts to distract me from my many other obsessions. No Agenda is Iron Chess Maiden's recommendation. James Maskell is saying, are podcasts still a thing? Did we already move past podcasts? What's the new thing? I thought podcasts still were a thing. Because, Serial was the first podcast ever made. And then the world discovered you can actually record audio files and have people listen to them. Thanks to the first podcast ever made, Serial. We found that out. I'm winning here in so many ways, but I can't decide on one. I can't decide. Wow. Podcasts seem to be no longer what the cool kids are listening to. What is it? What are we supposed to listen to nowadays? I honestly don't know. I thought I'm being current with my podcasts, but no. Apparently, what is it now? Is it like digital shorts on Snapchat? You just click on Instagram videos, like Instagram accounts like drunk people doing stuff? Is that where the money's at? Maybe I have to rethink my whole media intake. What I want to do is, just sit outside, drink a coffee in one of my cafes that don't have Wi-Fi, and listen to stuff. I also don't want to blunder all my pieces. Ideally, I did not pay much attention, I have to admit. Sorry, Gary Cairns, I meant no disrespect. Even when I bungled your name consistently, I didn't mean any disrespect. Check. So, what recommendations do we get? Yeah, I listened to a bit of that, what's called Origins with James Andrew Miller about Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yeah, I heard a bit of that. I prefer the real thing. Can't wait for Curb Your Enthusiasm coming back. But yeah, thanks for the tip. What else is there? Stuff you should know. Yeah, I tried stuff you should know, but I feel like, there's so much stuff already. Like, I don't feel like learning anything useful. So, yeah, I wasn't into stuff you should know. Fuxia says she's listening to her cat's purring. Is that a podcast or is that your actual cat purring? Is that how you pronounce purring? Purr? I guess so. Let's get this game out of the way. Get out the way. Thanks for the game, Mr. Gary Cairns. So, did we make progress in our quest for a new podcast? I'm also listening to what's called Hardcore History with, what's his name? Dan Carlin? Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. It's good stuff, but I'm not always in the mood for like a 5-hour multi-listening session. But it's certainly good stuff. And Fuxia is saying that's her real cat, Hakata. That's an interesting name. Is it a female or a male cat, Hakata? I have a suspicion. What time is that? We have time for like 2 more games, I guess. Let's find some fresh meat. What about Mr. Night Officer? Is that a Nightorf officer? The Nightorf? Excellent TV show, by the way. The first episode, or the pilot of the Nightorf, was, still some of the best TV I've seen last year. And I watch a lot of TV. Don't tell anybody. What else are we being told? No agenda show. I'll check that out. While we're playing some Wesley Soul style opening here. A6. I had that once. Did I? I guess I had that once. Nah, probably different move order. It doesn't really matter. In a game against Navarra, maybe? This move order, maybe I could have gone knight to e5. Who knows? I have a feeling, is this my game, my Navarra game? I wish I could remember stuff. Would make life so much easier if you could would have just have total recall. I think Rook e1, e4, and then d4 was a sensible plan. And I'm not sure if it's this exact position. I believe against Navarra I played some direct d4, and maybe in this position. I'm not sure it's this exact position, but I didn't get anything much. So I will, this time around, try this plan. Point of all this Rook e1, e4 action is that after takes, he cannot free his position so easily by going bishop takes g2. Well, now, yeah, hopefully there's gonna be some tricks based on e5 or taking on b5 or bishop e3 hitting the queen, whatever. Hopefully something's gonna pop up. Let's see, 6. I guess bishop e3 is obvious enough. I'm trying to calculate knight d4, bishop d4, queen a5 if I can win material with e5. And so far the verdict is yes, I can. That's why I said you want these tactics, especially after rook e1, since bishop g2 no longer hits the rook on f1 against the undefended bishop on b7. And here I'm hoping it's already game over, even though de, bishop b7, rook d8. I still have to be a little careful. Bishop c6 check, king f8, rook e5. And it looks like I can keep everything under control. While bishop g2, ef6 is this typical Zwischenzug that wins material, since it's also hitting the bishop on e7. He can go ed4. Maybe that's the most resilient, but then bishop a8 followed by bishop c6 check still looks fairly good for me. Well, yeah, rook d8 is the other line I was talking about. Check and rook e5, and I don't see anything. So ed is the best chance. I would take castle, queen d4. I'm an exchange up. Or hang on, I have to think about this. After ed, I could start with bishop c6 check as well, stopping him from castling. Then king f8, bishop a8, but my bishop looks a little silly on a8. Or I can start with bishop a8, allowing castles. Okay, it goes rook d8, but that I thought just didn't work. Check. Let's take this. I didn't see any tricks. Queen c7. Not cb, or many moves. Probably cb. It does not seem to work. Bishop b4. How do I do this? So many options. What I want to do is go cb, but it's probably not the best move. Why go too crazy? Let's just defend. One important point is that after rook d4, queen d4, bishop c3, I should have a little check on d6, asking some awkward questions. Like, what to do with your king? And knight officer resigns before I take whatever he could throw in the way of this queen along the 8th rank. Yeah, the e5 typical tactic, but in general a bit of an opening disaster. Here the position already looks difficult, and after knight c6, bishop e3, it feels like it's already big trouble. One last game. So hard to choose. I'll just click blindly, I can't choose. Problem with clicking blindly is that it's hard to click on anything. So, yeah, looks like we started the game. Yeah, we're playing against Desafinado. Ooh, well, during my blind clicking, also managed to scroll down something like playing against Desafinado Gustafsson. He goes d4. I will play c5. That's a 3-minute game. Okay, then we'll be very timely. And we'll be done. Another, what's it called? d4 sideline. c3 here. I think in my video series on how to meet all these d4 sidelines, I gave the setup where you delay knight to c6. That seemed important to me because you're fighting against white going e4. And you just, put the knight here, control the e4 square for now. And it looked to me like black had a perfectly serviceable position. Knight e5 is interesting though. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, to be perfectly frank. I don't know. Looks like Desafinado Gustafsson, big expert. Probably not the first time he has this position on the board. Generally, at these structures with knight e5, d-e5, white is obliged to attack on the king side, and it was never that obvious to me how to do it. So with white, I'm never that tempted to go here. But with black, of course, things feel a little different. It looks a little scary. Oh my god, he's attacking my pawn. Desafinado, big expert in these lines, it looks like. Blitzing out all the maneuvers here. Has it down to a science. So what I want to do is go maybe queen e7 followed by e5 if I'm allowed to. Looks like he's slowed down a little bit, but not much, not much. Now at least I solved my problems because now I have the better structure and I'm not getting checkmated anytime soon. Not sure if I'm better yet because after queen g4 or whatnot, white is still fairly active. But at the very least, black is okay now. To queen g4, I think it's queen e1 that feels a little passive. Now I'll try to occupy the f file because the rook can't recapture on f1. So, gimme. Threaten a little check. Ugh. I was so happy, but then this I saw, but I realized too late that rook f1 might be possible. Just keeping white in the game. Well, here d4 check I thought would be quite unpleasant. When my forgotten bishop on b7 is allowed to enter the game with great effect. Can I checkmate? Not yet. Rook d2 looks quite. Rook f2 looks quite good too. But it's too tempting to play d3. Create a parcel like that. What's not to like? How do we checkmate our dear boy? Like this. This is the end for Desafinado Gustafsson and also the end of today's show already. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for the podcast recommendations. I'll go through the chat and check them out. Always looking for new podcasts, even though I've realized it's very hard to both read and listen to stuff at the same time. Probably it's impossible to multitask in general. They say millennials. I'm not a millennial. I'm firmly Generation X. I now learned that the cutoff is 1983 or born 1983 or later, so I don't qualify. Even though millennials are set to be great at multitasking, I don't think it's possible, right? We can only switch around quickly. So I failed listening to a podcast and reading something at the same time. But I'll hang around. I'm reading Spontaneation. I love Paul F. Tompkins on Comedy Bang Bang, but I could not get into Spontaneation. Maybe I should give it another look. That Hollywood Handbook seemed more accessible to me somehow. Anyway, that's the end of today's show. Most likely we'll be back in English tomorrow with the great Peter Svidler. It's not 100% set, so I shouldn't plug it too much. But most likely we'll be doing that and be doing a bit of commentary on the World Cup and on Isle of Man. So check it out tomorrow if you're watching this live, 1 p.m. More likely than not, there's going to be some kind of show. Hope to see you guys there. If not, or if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching. Tell a friend. Blah, blah, blah. Go premium on Chess24 to participate. And see you in the next one. Bye-bye.